If you're coming into town for one of the concerts at the Sun Bowl, you're in luck. El Paso just voted on the best spots in the city, and honestly, some of these surprised us. One of the winners we had never been to. We have 8,000 followers of locals who are looking for things to do and places to eat that even they didn't know about. People voted and sponsored voting. People put their money where their mouth is. And after trying them out, I can tell you exactly why these places won and why some of our favorites didn't. Stay with us because each business has a surprising win, including an underdog Cinderella story. So we started with 5 categories: snack and coffee category, retail, activity, restaurant, and after concert drinks. Our winner was 787 Coffee. They beat out 7 others, 8 total, and there was some controversy about them being the winner. 787 Coffee is a Puerto Rican coffee brand known for sourcing and roasting their own beans, with a strong focus on origin and storytelling around the coffee itself. Their shops lean into experience, bright spaces, signature drinks, and a brand that feels very intentional. They don't just sell coffee, they sell a branded experience. From how the drinks look to how the space feels, it's designed to be shareable and memorable. Even though they didn't start here, they've built a real El Paso presence, and clearly enough people here claim them as their spot. This is something a lot of local businesses underestimate. People don't just support what's local, they support what feels worth sharing. And when you combine a strong brand experience with a community that actually shows up, that's how you end up at number 1. Now let's look at the next winner. Now this one needs a little context, because technically this wasn't the original winner. The top voted spot in this category was actually our vendor market, but they weren't scheduled to run during the BTS weekend. And for this list, one of the requirements was simple. You had to be able to experience it that weekend. So that moves us to number 2, La Nube. La Nube is El Paso's interactive science and discovery center, built around hands-on exhibits, family experiences, and learning through play. It's one of the newer additions to the city and already becoming a go-to spot for families. And honestly, this is where the data still lines up. Even at number 2, it had strong support, consistent voting, and a clear audience. This actually highlights something important. Winning attention is one thing, but availability and timing decide who captures the moment. The vendor market had the votes, La Nube had the timing. If you're going about your day, you've already had your coffee, you've already had your activity, you're probably hungry. This next one is unique because it's actually 2 winners in one location. Amar and Don Carbon share the same building, but represent 2 completely different sides of El Paso. Amar brings a Peruvian influence to the city built around a story that stands out. From what's been shared, it started with a relationship that introduced that culture. And even after the split, that connection to Peruvian food stayed and turned into something real. Now it's one of the few places here offering that kind of experience. It's not just different, it's intentional. And that kind of story gives people a reason to connect beyond just the menu. Right next to it, completely different energy, Don Carbon. This mesquite grilled El Paso style cooking, fast food vibe, strong local identity, bold flavors, and exactly what people expect when they think of the city. It's familiar, but done at a level that keeps people coming back. It's like going to family's house for a cookout. Same building, two completely different experiences. One expanding what El Paso can be, the other doubling down on what El Paso already is. And that's the real takeaway here. People don't just support local one way, they support variety as long as it's done well. Different cultures, same city, both winning. Quick pause, because everything you're seeing here is part of something bigger. This is Omniversal. So depending on what you're looking for, we split into a few lanes. Omniversity. These are the things I didn't learn in school and wish to pass on to my son for him to learn. These are things that life taught me and I wish somebody would tell me sooner. It's just a warning for the bear in the woods. We know there's a bear in the woods, but a precise warning makes us feel a little better. And then there's the Throaty Therapist. This is my wife's channel. She gives you tips on speech and tells you how things are connected to speech and communication, more than you thought they were. And if you don't know what a speech pathologist is, she'll explain that to you too. So if you're into discovering new perspectives, that's what we're trying to build here. Alright, our next winner is from the retail category. This might be the biggest upset of the entire list. Margin Notes went up against one of the most established local favorites, a place most people assumed would win without a problem. And for most of the voting, it actually looked that way, but toward the end, something changed. Margin Notes surged and took the lead. Yes, there was a strong push behind it, including support from the owners, but again, every business had the same opportunity. The difference? They used it consistently. Margin Notes has built a reputation as a space people connect with, not just to grab something, but to spend time, study, meet, and come back. Margin Notes is a book bar, bookstore with wine bar and a few other drinks. And this is the pattern you're seeing. It's not always the biggest name that wins. It's the one that activates their people when it counts. Underdog on paper, organized in practice. And the last one in the drinks category was the District. This one caught us off guard because we had never been here before. The District took the win for drinks and it makes sense. Late hours, bar atmosphere, perfect spot after a show. But that's not what stood out to us the most. It was the food, specifically the rolled tacos. If you're from El Paso, you already know rolled tacos are a staple here. There's a lot of nostalgia tied to them. For us, it's always been more about the nostalgia than the quality. The District took the same idea and elevated it. Same concept, but better ingredients, better execution, and something we actually want to keep eating. And that's a powerful move, taking something people already recognize and improving it enough that they experience it in a completely different way. Try for brunch with a fried egg on top. It's familiar but upgraded. So yes, they won for drinks, but the food is what made it stick for us. And that wraps it up for us. If you look at all of these winners together, there's a pattern. It wasn't just about who had the best product, it was about who had the most loyal audience. And not just loyal in name, loyal because these businesses actually show up for their people. Listen to them, engage with them, and give them a reason to come back. You saw it with 787, consistent support, margin notes, activated at the right time. La Nube, ready when it mattered. Amar and Don Carbon, clear identity people connect to. And the district taking something familiar and making it better. Different strategies, but the same outcome, people who are willing to show up for them. This only happens because people care enough to vote, share, and be a part of it. That's really what we're building with Omniversal, not just highlighting places, but understanding why people support them in the first place. If you want to check out these spots, we got everything mapped out so you can plan your weekend. Because at the end of the day, attention gets you noticed, loyalty is what makes you win.